And welcome back to Where's My Tail? I'm Brant,
I'm Lisa.
and this is another episode of WMT's Weekly Comic Countdown.
It's
Weekly.
not weekly.
Emphasis on weekly, because we weekly got to it. W-A-K.
Okay.
I don't know, it's a bad joke. We'll talk more about the future of the countdown at the end of the episode. But without further ado, this was actually a small week, and we had actually intended on doing the countdown last week. Ran out of time. She actually did read the books.
I read them all.
She did. She read them all, so it's not that. We just ran out of time. She's got her list. I got mine. We're ready to go. So you only read 5 books, right? 6 books.
Yes.
6 books. I read 10, so I'll start with the first 4.
Go for it.
All right, let's go. Boo, 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 boo. All right, so coming in at number 10 for me, Darth Vader. Number, what is it, 18? 18. First of all, I liked all the books that I read this week, honestly. This one was just, this particular story where he's drilling down to the center of this thing and he's fighting against this council, and it goes on, and the C-3PO type unit, is it BT, or is that no, that's the little one. I can't remember his name.
I don't know.
The R2 one is his name is BT. I can't remember what this one's name is. But his obsession with burning flesh and killing people is just, it's waning thin on me a little bit. It's just going on and on. Darth Vader's very much in character here, and you see kind of like I wonder, there's a part in here where, and not to go too much into it, but there's a part in here where the droids are trying to convince Darth Vader to let them kind of try to experiment and make a sentient droid. And he says absolutely not. I wonder if that's leading to General Grievous from, General Grievous was a prequel, so that would come before Darth Vader, wouldn't it? He was in the prequels.
Who's General Grievous?
The droid. Jedi.
Oh.
Well, the 6 arms.
Okay.
Okay, so that wouldn't make sense because that was a prequel. Okay, so I don't know where they were going with that, but they were talking about a sentient droid thing. Anyway, then he's betrayed by a couple of other people, but he saw it coming and everything. I don't know, it was a little bit boring. So, Darth Vader. Number 9 is a book that I've dropped since, but since it was a light week, I went ahead and read it, which is Daredevil number 5. This direction for me, it is more similar in tone to the TV show, the Netflix show, but I guess I got so used to the Wade run that this just is not my favorite in book form. But it's not a bad story by any stretch of the imagination. It's written well. This is kind of the end of the Ten Fingers thing. I don't know if you know.
Has the kid betrayed him yet?
The kid actually, okay, Blind Spot is actually the son of one of Ten Fingers' followers, which we found out a couple issues back. So he was kind of playing both sides, but he's actually a good guy. He really is Daredevil's protege, it turns out. So, but Ten Fingers, the hand has unleashed the fist, which is this corpse that they had to sacrifice 100 of their own people to create, to raise from the dead. And he's come back to take the power that Ten Fingers stole from the hand. And so it's this whole thing, and then Ten Fingers is trying to get away, and he doesn't. We'll just leave it at that, because it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So we don't know where it's heading into this. Well, we do, because Elektra's coming up soon. The next story is called Electric Connection, and I think maybe Elektra's the one that actually took him out. We'll see as it comes to it, but it was an interesting resolution to the story. Not bad at all. I'm not a huge fan of the art. It's like it goes back and forth from color to black and white, like that. It's like a very strange palette they use. So, but it was decent.
Decent.
Yeah, decent Daredevil. It is one of my favorite writers, Charles Soule. Or Soule, I don't know. Number 8 for me is the final issue of Batman and Robin Eternal, issue number 26. Personally, I didn't mind the resolution of this one. I thought everything ended nicely. The reason this one is so low for me is the art. And there's a bunch of different artists on here, but there's one particular artist, and I'm not going to call out the name because I'm not sure exactly which one does those pages. I can't remember. We talked about it on a previous show, the previous episode. But the pages that he did, they're just so inconsistent and so, I don't know, weird. Like we talked one time about the mask size, how it morphed in size from panel to panel and stuff like that. So, you know, things like that.
And it's just because it's a weekly book and they ran out of time.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely rushed, but still, at that level, it just seems like you should be a little bit more cautious of that kind of thing.
I thought it was hilarious that, I think it was in this issue, is this where Dick shows up at the very beginning, standing there? In her...
In Mother's?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
It's funny because the last issue that he was in, he was wearing this big old snow coat thing because it was so cold.
Yeah.
Like a big furry coat, and all of a sudden he's not wearing it anymore.
Yeah, he's just
in his normal outfit.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of things, and there's a lot of inconsistencies from this book, but that happens with the weekly book too.
Yeah. They just probably didn't know the other artist had drawn it that way.
But, you know, I kind of like this because you have that whole build-up of, is Harper going to kill Cassie?
Yeah.
For revenge, for killing her mom, and then you have, you know, her saying, you know, she's smarter than we realize, and she's like, I was just buying time, and, you know, Mother's taken out, well, it seems like she's going to get away with it, and then Orphan, actually.
Yeah, where did he come from?
I don't know.
He fell through the thing, and then he's back.
But he's the one that actually took her out, which I thought was kind of poetic. I appreciated that. So I like the way it wrapped up with, you know, Batman's back and he's going on a mission with all the Robins.
Yeah.
And, you know, he said, you know, for Harper and for Cassie, you know, pave your own paths. I didn't like that Cassie took on Orphan's name.
Me either.
I thought that was really weird because they
had a very bad relationship.
Yeah, it's just, it didn't make sense to me. So again, that was another reason it was a little lower for me. All right, so number 7 is actually one I read digitally, which was Powerline's #1 new series from Image, Shadowline.
This is my number 6, so.
Okay.
That's good.
Cool.
So
My number 7, your number 6. All right, and this is by Jimmy Robinson. So you talk. She didn't like it apparently.
No, it was okay. It was interesting who ends up getting the power. That was the best part, and I was almost had written it off, and then I was like, oh, okay, this could be interesting.
Because it's from completely different classes and everything. Because you thought it was just going to be the kid.
It opened up on these thugs in a car and this language everywhere.
But you could tell that one that actually got the powers, he wasn't totally down with what they were doing and everything.
Yeah.
But, I thought it was an interesting concept because it's dealing with their power lines. They form a triangle.
Yeah.
And they were like this source of power like thousands of years ago, and then as time progressed and as land shifted and everything, they just kind of faded away.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they just come back, and the only person that really knows what's going on is this Native American that's walking around, sometimes completely naked for some reason. But he was doing some kind of sacrifice thing.
Yeah,
sacrificing a bunny. Poor bunny. But I thought it was a really interesting and unique concept.
I assume it's those 3 that are
going to be the 3 points of the triangle,
But maybe more people are going to get power. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but it's an interesting concept. So.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 6, since you talked about yours, is All New X-Men number 7. I like the issue. A solid issue. Toad has young Cyclops trapped, and he figures out that he's gonna kill him because he doesn't like Cyclops at all.
He thinks it's gonna change everything.
He thinks it's gonna change the future because this is past Cyclops. He thinks it's gonna erase everything that present Cyclops did.
He said something about having seen Back to the Future. He knows how it works.
Yeah. And Cyclops was like, you don't understand. And it ends kind of weird. The whole thing was them underground, you know, him with, and the others are kind of like, where'd Scott go? We gotta go find him. But they never really had a clue to where he was.
Yeah.
And then Scott lets loose his optic blast.
Well,
I think, right?
He had to,
well,
or he was gonna kill him.
That's what it was. Scott was like just thinking to himself because he couldn't see. He had him covered, right?
Yeah, and then they got knocked off.
Yeah, well,
later.
yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, they got knocked off, but he was keeping his eyes closed so he wouldn't unleash. And he's sitting there thinking about how he's going to get out of this, and all of a sudden, Toad just starts wailing on his face, and he's like, ah! And so he lets loose, and he basically buries himself. And we don't know what happened, if he's still alive under there.
Well, at the end, it was told it was gonna burn him alive.
Yeah,
down
that's
there,
right.
and-
That's right. You're right. I'm sorry. He was crawling through the thing. He was gonna set. He ran into a dead end. He was gonna set him on fire. You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry about
And
that.
then, well, he let it off twice. The first time was that he's like, well, he's either gonna kill me or this is gonna, I'll bury myself with the blast. And he let it off then, and then again when it got stuck.
Yeah.
And then they leave it all cliffhangery.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine.
I
So-
liked the art. No.
Yeah.
A lot.
So do you want to go to your number 5, or do you want me to continue?
No, it doesn't matter.
Well, we're at number 5, so you can
Well,
join
I'll
me.
just do mine real quick because we
Okay.
already talked about it.
Okay.
Batman and Robin, Eternal number 26.
Okay.
Wrap it up. I told him the only problem I had with it really was how they'd use those stupid doors so much
Yeah.
for the whole thing, the
Yeah.
transport doors. But they didn't use it right there at the end to keep him from killing Mother or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they were all like, they told Cassie, like, alright, isn't that what happened? She was over near where she could kill her.
Yeah.
And they were like, don't do it.
Yeah.
But they let Orphan do it.
Yeah. It was a little. It was like that was a convenient thing leading up to that point, and then they just forgot all about it. Yeah. There were some holes. Let's just say. All right, so my number 5 was Aquaman number 50, which this was only the second issue Dan Abnett's wrote,
Oh.
and he's going to be the writer on the new series.
Yeah, he told me that I just started it with 50 because I was so far behind. He said that I should go back and read 49.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, 49 was the first issue he wrote, and it kind of set the stage for this issue, where they had a conversation about whether he should do. He was telling her about his plan to do and everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this issue they have formed on the surface this kind of, I forget what they called it.
Is
but
it an
was,
embassy?
It acts as an embassy, but they had a specific name for it. I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was. But it's like it's a safe haven. It's an embassy. It's this place where surface dwellers can come and learn more about them. He's asked Mara to be the spokesperson for Atlantis on Earth, and she's taken on Aquawoman. She's wearing the exact same outfit, which I thought was a little strange.
I
But
thought it was funny.
yeah, it was funny. Meanwhile, though, Aquaman's fighting this. You can kind of see it on the cover in the background. He's fighting this thing that they've called Dead Water, which they think was from Atlantis. And it turns out it's not. It's some new threat from this weird interdimensional place
Yeah, strange.
with new kind of water, and it can transport from any body of water appear in a pool.
Yeah.
And Aquaman's trying to hunt this thing down, and he finds out that it was actually this darkness that infected a human and stuff like that. So I'm spoiling this book like crazy. But the cool thing is Mara did that speech. And, it was this issue that they went to the carnival or whatever, right? The Amnesty Festival, or was
No.
the previous issue, okay. It was fun.
Okay.
Got to read that. So Mary gives a speech, and she's like cracking jokes and everything. Everybody's loving it. So it was nice. It was kind of a nice close to one chapter and the beginning of another. Is the way I felt about it. Even though there were 2 more issues to go,
Right.
I still felt that way.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I really liked it. There was something I was gonna say. I put it out of my mind.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I liked the beginning, all the Jaws.
Oh yeah.
Jokes at the very beginning.
And how the FBI agent was like not wanting to stop, just stop. Yeah,
One of the police officers was going because they assumed it was a shark.
yeah, and then they were like, "How you telling me how a shark got up here?"
Yeah, that was really funny.
But yeah, he said, non-frenzied feeding of a large squalus, and then her partner was about this. She said, we're gonna need, and she was like, don't you dare don't you say it, and she said, I was gonna say help.
Yeah. But I liked a lot. I like that Mira looks to be where she's gonna have a bigger role.
Yeah.
I haven't read it in a while, but when I was reading it, she was like had been body snatched or something. She wasn't herself.
Yeah.
And it was bad times. But I think it could be funny having them both be Aqua people,
Yeah.
Aqua women,
And
because like give the land dwellers something they're familiar with.
Yeah.
I assume that's why they did it.
yeah, exactly. They referenced her dark period in the last issue.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and stuff like that, because she was concerned about, well, if I'm the representative, well, they remember that stuff, and I thought it was well done. So, what's your number 5?
I already said number 5.
Oh, you did?
Batman and Robin.
Oh, okay. What's your number 4?
Number 4 is something we also already talked about. X-Men. All new X-Men. Number 7.
Okay.
So.
All right. My number 4 is Grand Fairy Tales Red Agent number 3 of 5. I actually really like this series. Red Agent. It's obviously Red Riding Hood. Brittany is her name, and she's teaming up with this girl. I think her name's Avril.
Avril.
Yes, Avril. I can't find her name.
It's pretty good art.
Yeah, it is really nice art. It's Diego Galindo is the artist. I was actually really impressed with the art here. And they in this issue they finally broken in and gotten to the hacker that they were trying to get to, who has been infected with through the computer with some kind of, I don't know, it incapacitated him, and he's got some connection with this other hacker girl, and they're trying to use her ability because she's a highborn. She's got abilities to talk to, electronics. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
But it's very interesting, and they're trying to escape because these killers are coming after them, and they send this guy that Avril or whatever her name is has a history with, and she's tempted to try to kill the guy, and Brittany's trying to stop her from doing so, and they're trying to save this hacker who gets visited in his mind by this girl who's been taken, but they finally figure out how to access her powers at the very end of the issue, which is through her eyes. And so leading into issue 4, they finally have what they've been looking for, and so they have to get to her before they can get access. So it's action packed, really fun series, I think, and like you said, really good art. So ready, Jay.
Cool.
Alright.
What am I doing? Number 3. So the one we just talked about, Aquaman 50.
Okay.
The only other thing I wanted to say about it was that I really like that artist. I know some people don't like him.
Brett Booth.
But I hope he'll be around for a little bit. Isn't he on something else though? I know they announced him for something.
Yeah, I can't remember what though. Off the top of my head.
I'll have to read that too, whatever it is, because I like him.
I like him sometimes. He makes legs really big for some reason, but other than that. Alright.
So, I remember I flatted Anita Blake a long time ago, and I was like, oh, I love this art.
Yeah.
I've liked it ever since then.
Okay, yeah. Alright, so my number 3 is Street Fighter X G.I. Joe number 2 of 6. And the weird thing is, I was really disappointed by the first issue, if you remember.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's not what I wanted and everything, but then on the live show, like Spider Slayer was gushing about it.
Yeah.
And he broke it down to why, and he really made me think about what exactly this is, and it made me appreciate it more. And so going into this one, I didn't have those preconceptions. So I really enjoyed this one a lot. And they did give us a little bit of the plot here. Not too much. Like Baroness was trying to have Storm Shadow take a dive, and he was like, sure, I'll do what needs to be done, but when it gets to the fight, he's like, nope. And so he wins, and she's like, what are you doing? He said, I'm doing what needs to be done. So he's always got his own agenda, and like Zartan turning out to be, he disguised himself as one of the Street Fighter characters, who was kind of a lame character, and Chun-Li was making fun of him the whole time, and then it turns out to be Zartan because he's a shapeshifter from G.I. Joe, and he beats her. So
she thought why would she fight someone from her own team?
they're not from teams. It's a tournament, and it's just characters from both franchises in it. And we don't know the reason why they're in this tournament yet, but we got we got little hints, like we had Chun-Li, Guile, and Cammy at the beginning of the book talking about having to get the Bison, in Bison, and Cammy wanting to get revenge on him and all this stuff. So she actually does fight him later, but he's got some kind of enhanced tech that helps him win, and Destro from Cobra has to stop Bison from killing her.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I mean, and you got some really good art here. I just, this issue I really enjoyed it because it's just this fun, you know, meshing of two franchises that I love, and just fighting it out with a lot of action scenes and like you would expect in a fighting book. So, but you know, you get a little bit of a plot, and here you get a tease for what's coming forward. And I love, like Mike Spidersley pointed out, I love that they do these dossiers like they used to do on the back of the G.I. Joe figures, and the tournament brackets, they show you exactly where things are headed and everything. So I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Alright, you are up with your number, what, 2?
It's the exact same order as you, it looks like.
Yeah, it's our number 2 and number 1 are the same books. So,
Cool.
Alright.
Faith, number 3.
Yep.
Number 2. I really,
Number 3.
really,
No, you're right.
no.
Oh, it's
my
it's your number 2. Sorry.
I really liked it a lot. The only problem I had with it, I told him I wasn't super thrilled that her whole office knows who she is now, but I guess it was bound to happen eventually.
Yeah,
I
well,
just didn't want it to happen so soon.
Yeah, technically there's only 3 of them, because if you remember the other intern was at the table, was like, why did she get to that?
Oh, okay, that's true.
So, but
Was
still,
it 3 or 4 of them?
it's the boss and the 2 underlings, the 2, yeah, so it's 3.
And then one of them wanted to sell her out, like just like that.
Yeah, the guy, he was like, he was already on the phone and everything, he's just ready to sell her out. I liked it too, and we both talked about it. They just announced that Faith is getting an ongoing series. And we were both like, well, she should have had an ongoing series the whole time. This shouldn't have
Maybe
been
they were
mini.
testing the waters.
Which is fine, but she's just such a lovable character. And she's so fun. Go ahead.
I was trying to remember, there was a funny part.
With her ex?
No.
Oh,
Oh, with her name.
Oh.
Someone asked her where she got her name.
Is it from
Buffy or
from Cyclops
Yeah.
on X-Men? And she's like a little of both, you know, because Summer Smith. Yeah.
She's a nerd. And
Yeah,
that's funny.
I love that. She's a total nerd, and she does these dream sequences too,
I like
which
that.
yeah, they are fun. Working out this whole thing, and Archer pops up, and she's like, they're really good friends, and so they're talking and stuff. And you mentioned to me about her ex, Torque,
Yeah.
and he's like on this reality show, and it turns out that his hot girlfriend is actually one of the bad guys, and she's tired of messing around with it, so she's like, I'm done.
Let's just take him out already.
Yeah, let's
or
take him
whatever.
out. Yeah, it was funny. It was hilarious, and art is, you know, really good. The writing, it's just, it's fresh, it's snappy, it's funny, and you know, you got a plot here because she's like torn. She's fun and happy-go-lucky, but at the same time, she's wanting to make a difference, and she wants to save people, and
Yeah.
it's really inspirational. Just because she's this, her character is like just a regular person. It gives me Spider-Man vibes a little
Yeah.
bit. A little bit, because she's, like I said, she's a typical person that could be anybody on the street that just happens to have these powers, doesn't really know how to deal with them. It's like very early Spider-Man to me. I think that's why.
I can see that.
Yeah, and that just like hit me why I like it so much. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
Me too.
We didn't give any codes away. Did
No,
you?
we didn't.
Did you have any Marvel in your top
I
5?
had
X-Men?
just X-Men and
That's it.
our number 1.
Yeah. All right, so we will give all new X-Men away real quick before we get to our number 1.
Is that the only one you had too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
I'm
As
gonna
in-
get this one out.
Yeah. Okay, so this is for all new X-Men number 7. As soon as I get to, no, it's not one coming. Hopefully you guys can read it. Okay. See, first come, first serve. There you go. All right. And we can go ahead and give that code away, and we'll say what it is, give the code away, and then talk about it
Okay.
as soon as you're
Oh,
Get it off
man.
there. Is it-
Yes, I'm very bad at that.
It's okay. Are you ripping the whole thing off?
Yeah.
It's okay. No, you had it.
I had it.
Yeah.
Oh, it felt like I was ripping the whole thing off.
Yeah. This is both of our number 1 picks this week. This is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 5. There is your code for that one. Alright, here's the cover. Beautiful book.
It might be my favorite issue so far.
Mine too. You can go ahead and talk about
It's her. The beginning was funny. Her trying to act normal,
it. Yeah.
like tricking everybody.
Yeah.
Her parents included.
Mm-hmm.
And she's all the time she's just plotting on how to rescue Devil Dinosaur because he got abducted or whatever after the last issue with the Hulk.
Yeah.
And the guards were funny. They were like, he can't get out of here. This is made from I forget something about Ant-Man and
Yeah.
Tony Stark.
Reed pin particles or reed. It was something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called.
It reinforced with pin particles. Yeah.
It was some kind of reed pin formula.
It was the Terrigen.
Oh, Pim Richards super materials. There
Oh,
we go.
Pin.
The Terrigen. What about it?
Was that girl related to her, or
Oh.
just a friend? I couldn't remember the girl.
The girl that actually
Gets
got
into
taken
the
into the Terrigen.
and then there's like you see this egg there or something. Or is it like her sister or something? I couldn't remember if she had a sister.
I don't think so. I think it's just some random person.
Because she said from her window, "Oh, it's Lucy" or whatever.
Lily.
Lily. Sorry.
Oh, maybe it's a schoolmate or something.
She
Weird.
looked older.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'd have to go back.
Yeah.
Anybody know who Lily is? And we were on the dinosaur. Let us know
Yeah,
because I
let
can't
us know.
remember.
But I really liked how she went down into her lab and became Moon Girl so that she could go and rescue him.
Yeah.
And she had all of these warnings for when the Terrigen comes so that she can stay away from it because she knows she has the gene that will transform her.
Yeah. There's because it's early on in the issue. Yeah. Terrigen alert. Terrigen alert. I thought that was fun too. I love, and not to interrupt you or anything,
That's fine.
I love that she took the name that was used to tease her. And the whole thing, because they always tease her and call her Moon Girl because she was obsessed with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she takes it and she owns it and starts calling herself Moon Girl. And yeah, it's a cheesy costume, but she's a kid. So I appreciated that she took something that was hurting her and owned it and just made it her own. That's really inspirational as well.
Yeah, when I was reading this one, I was just like, oh, that's really cool. I hope she stays around for a while.
Yeah, she's
endearing.
She is endearing. She's one of the freshest new characters. Her and Miss Marvel, I love them both. I think they're ingenious new characters in the Marvel universe. The art also, I love the art. It's just,
really good.
it's fun. It's a little bit stylistic, but it's meant to be that way. So, she gets Devil Dinosaur out.
Yeah.
Well, he really gets himself out. And then you finally see I'm Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
The first team up, really.
Yeah.
Or that she's accepting it.
Yeah.
Because he's her friend.
Mm-hmm. So, very good issue. If you guys are not reading this series, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it was very good.
So that where'd the thing go for it, guys?
Sorry.
Alright, so that is our countdown.
Ta-da.
We're all done. And we're really done. Because if you guys watch the haul, you know that we decided to move that over to Comic Frontline. Well, the countdown, we are actually ending with this episode. And we talked a little bit about it, we touched on it. You want to explain why we're not doing
Basically because I don't always get the books read and...
Well, it's not just that.
That's mainly it.
No.
Sometimes both of us don't get them done, but it's usually me. And we would like to be timely with this, and it's just a time factor.
Yeah, and it hasn't worked out. Obviously, this is the first one we've done in weeks.
Yeah.
But it's not just the time factor either, and granted, I still do my top 5 on Comic Frontline for the live show. But neither one of us are big reviewer types. And it's it's a little bit harder for us to do it this way. I have to because I'm on that show.
Right.
But it's even harder for you. I know you have a hard time. you struggle with that because you don't like to categorize them. You just like to read and enjoy them.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
And then if I liked it, I liked it.
Yeah. So it was fun. We enjoyed doing it, I think.
Yeah.
But I think time was the biggest factor. We
I
just
think
couldn't get it.
a lot of it was it. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say we couldn't get them written.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
That we went a little overboard there for a while, and we got behind because we were buying so many books. And so when I'm behind, I didn't like to just go on, and I'd like to catch up, and I could never catch up.
Yeah.
And right now I'm way behind on so many things.
Yeah.
It would take forever.
So instead of doing the countdown, any comic content, which we'll talk about this in an announcement video that's going up probably tomorrow. We've already recorded it. But comic content from this point forward is going to be on Comic Frontline for the most part.
Yeah.
So instead of doing a countdown over there, we'll do like spotlight stuff. Like I was thinking, Faith would be a perfect example. Once that last issue of the miniseries comes out, we could talk about Faith, and just because we both love the series,
Yeah.
we'll do stuff like that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So on Comic Frontline.
Stuff that we really like and would like to recommend.
Yeah.
I think that will show up more often than anything else.
Yeah, but this channel's not dying. It's not going away. It's just gonna kind of morph, and we're open to suggestions, which we talk about in the. Yeah, so watch that tomorrow for more details on all that.
And be sure to subscribe to the Comic Frontline for all our comic stuff.
Exactly. So you'll actually get to see this face on Comic Frontline. Aren't you so happy? Everybody's wanted her to get on Comic Frontline for a long time, so.
Had to find the right thing, I guess.
Exactly, so now she has. Alright, so that's going to wrap up this countdown though. We'd love to hear what books you got this week and what you liked, what you didn't like. Leave a comment below.
There were just no books.
I know, there's very little books.
Literally, those are all, those 6.
Yeah.
For me, that was it.
The
I
10.
would have read more.
Yeah, there was one more I thought about reading, but I didn't get to it. I was like, I've read 10. That's good for this week because it was a very light week for us. All of us on Comic Frontline, as a matter of fact, very light week. So, and that's why we're not doing a live show this week. By the way, if you see this before that goes up, which
you probably won't.
yeah. But if there's no live show this week, we'll be back next week. And we actually have a meeting in 10 minutes as I'm recording this, so we need to wrap this up. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting us throughout the channel so far. Thank you for all your subscriptions. And don't go away because, like I said, we're going to be doing content still on the channel. It's just not going to be the same content. Go over to Comic Frontline for that content and come back tomorrow for the update for all that announcement. So, all right. Until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.